Hey, it's Dr. Nicole,
Hey, it's Coach Kofia.
And this is Dion. Welcome to Opportunities Over Obstacles.
the podcast where we talk about lessons in motherhood.
Life and business.
All
Okay.
right. Oh my gosh, this is our
First
first
episode.
podcast.
And we're laughing
Yes.
because we had all types of it's been like an hour? We had all types of things going on
Maybe
before
should
we
we
hit
start
record.
by telling the people how this even came about? Like, why are we even here? The three
I
of
think
us.
it's important. It's
Definitely.
important. Well, we all okay. So, am I the one telling the story? Because I just jumped right in here like I was about to say.
Yes.
Just let it
Tell it.
flow.
Tell it, Sophia.
So we all met in a coaching community, and we decided. How long ago did we decide? I think we decided on Clubhouse that we were going to do a podcast. Do y'all remember that? We were
I
like,
think.
we should do a podcast. I
That's
think
how long ago we started talking about it. It's when Clubhouse was hot. Is Clubhouse still hot? I
it's
don't know.
not hot. It's still
Not hot?
possible, but it ain't as hot as it was when it first came.
Okay.
But yeah, so we started talking about it a while ago, and it's been in the talks for a while. I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean,
And then we came up with this name because we looked at what we all do as coaches, which is really like steering people towards looking at the opportunity versus the obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember we created our bundle.
Yep.
And
Yes.
And that
then
bundle will get you jump
snatch the
started.
edges. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jump started.
Not snatching the edges. Stepping on toes, snatch. That's the whole. That's what we should have called the podcast. Stepping on toes, snatching the edges.
With love.
Yes.
We gotta have the love part though. Like.
Yeah. That's what's wrong with people now. They don't feel right. Don't feel good.
Right.
And then we were like, what do we all have we have a lot in common, but we are all mothers.
Mm-hmm.
We are definitely in business, and we do life.
Yes.
And it's I think part of it too is like we are on this app called Voxer, and we've been on there. I don't know, Dion, didn't you look and see how long it got started a while ago?
You mean the three of us on Voxer? I mean, I know we must have started in like it seems like longer, but I think it was was it 21, 22?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe 22.
Yeah, it feels like 5 years in a good way, but it definitely
right, because we were having so many conversations on Voxer, and it's like we just kept saying it too. Even after Clubhouse, we had the conversation on Clubhouse, and then all the time throughout the months and months and months, we're like, this conversation would be good for a podcast. Yeah. So then we were like, let's welcome the people into our conversations, and here we are.
Because we know they can benefit, like legit. We're like, and the other thing we always say is, oh, that's a post.
Oh yeah, that's content. That's a post. Yes.
So we're like, wait, that's a podcast episode.
And just sharing or thinking about like our own journeys, in life, motherhood, and business. Like, y'all, I just had this revelation, especially Kofia. Kofia comes through with like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't believe this. Oh, and she does the slow breakdown. Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's true. That is so true. Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is about to be good because she's breaking it down. So we want to share that with everybody.
Yeah, so welcome. We are so excited to just share just kind of what we do behind the scenes with you guys. So we'll be talking about some good stuff. And that brings me into what we're going to be talking about today. So today's topic is centered around asking for help. Right. And we talk about this on a regular basis, I've had a growth in my abilities to ask for help. And we are seeing it, I mean, in so many different avenues of motherhood, life, and business, where people either are not really good at asking for help, they don't know what that looks like, or they ask for help and then they really not ready.
Yes, that part.
Right.
They don't want to pay for help. It's a pride
Ooh,
thing.
that's the stepping on
They feel like
toes.
I can do it myself. Oh yeah, we're gonna step on toes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I guess we can just jump it off with what has been our experience maybe with asking for help, and then something that you've noticed as it relates to life, motherhood, or business with other people asking for help. So whoever wants to jump in. I know.
I mean, I think. Go ahead, Dion.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think back to like my childhood. Like, I feel like I was on one hand, I would I was okay with asking questions for clarification, but to say I needed help with something, it was like I was determined to figure it out. Um, I just have this thing where I don't know. I just don't want something to lick me. So it's like you might show me to lick me. Like I don't want it to get the best of me. That's what it.
I have never heard.
You've never heard
before.
child Midwesterners. I tell you.
Come to the East Coast.
Yes, that means like just like get your licks in, right? Like you don't want it to get the best of you, right?
Got it.
So I'm trying to
think.
think.
Violence, and I get it. That's great.
I know, right?
Kansas City, I tell you. So I feel like it's I don't know where it comes from, but I feel like I've always been up for the challenge, and I think that's been a blessing and a curse. Like, yeah, I'm up for the challenge, but that doesn't mean I have to like put myself through the ringer for it, So that's a good question.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's they think of it as so black or white. Like if I'm asking for help, I'm weak and I'm not up for the challenge. I'm not competent. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like just seeing, I'm trying to think of myself. So I love help and I love asking for help and I love, but it's a vulnerability to it, right? It's like, it's showing you don't know it all.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, where I get where it comes from, where we feel like we can't. And probably a lot of people have been ostracized, right? Like, what? You don't know? I'm trying to think in school what happens, right? The person who tries to raise their hand and can't read and everybody starts laughing, or I don't know, like they have to remediation that used to happen in our school, like special ed.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh, that's the one. When really it's like someone that just needs extra help.
Right.
So I totally get it. Like it gets a bad rap.
And help, I think when I was listening to you talk, it's like, do we understand what help really is, or have we identified what that is? Because help is basically saying what? Like that you are attempting something. You're trying to break something.
Yes.
That in and of itself needs kudos, right? But we don't look at it like that. And I could totally relate to being a person who did not want to ask for help, and a person who felt like I needed to do it on my own. And I think part of it is I didn't really want attention that other people could perceive as not good. Like, give me some attention that make me look great.
Go ahead, child. Yes.
I'm with it, right? But give me attention that says, like, I am human, I have flaws, I am not perfect. For me, it's like, that
take that spotlight off.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't until, started doing work on myself, hanging around with y'all, getting into these circles, it's like you do personal development. It's like, no, like asking for help is such a strength.
Yes.
You're so aware of your own abilities and you're able to receive. Right? And that's the part, it's like, I didn't look at it as receiving. I looked
Yeah.
at asking for help as a defect that I carry versus an opportunity for someone else to add to me.
Right.
Yes.
So
I know
I
so
That's
many people can
interesting.
relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I never really looked at it from that perspective. I think I just have always been on autopilot. I think by the time I realized I needed help with just everything, I was on the brink of like, my doctor was like, "You're about to have a stroke. You need to."
Oh, Dion, I never knew that.
Yeah, like my blood pressure was out of control, my weight was out of control, anxiety, depression, like stuff was just falling apart.
wow.
And it was like, for what? Just because I'm a high achiever doesn't mean I can't ask for help. And I remember doing, I think last week I did a reel about the whole housekeeping thing. Like my housekeeper came. Did I say housekeeper? Like I
You
have a
did.
live-in maid.
You did.
Like this,
It's all good though. It's all good.
like this is what's the show? The Jeffersons. No, it's not. It's a cleaning service.
No,
Housekeeper.
no. Your housekeeper. What? Like,
Yeah, I
can
don't
you
know.
say it? It's
I guess
nothing wrong with
when
it.
I hear housekeeper, I think live in more regular. But anyway, that's
That would have
just
been your
Housekeeper,
live-in
the person who
housekeeper.
keep my house.
right. Well,
Exactly.
she's a cleaning service, my cleaning lady. Um, when I was making excuses like, "Oh, you haven't been here a long time. I'm sorry for the mess. It's messier than usual. Like, don't judge me." And she was just like, and I was like, "No, no, no, it's really bad." And she was like, "It's okay."
That's my
And
job.
right,
To
that's my
come
job.
clean up.
And what I was saying was like, you know what? I had to like go inward to remind myself like it doesn't make me a failure. It doesn't make me less than a woman, a wife, a mom. It's just I'm admitting that I'm human and there's strength in admitting what you can't do. And
Mm-hmm.
by getting the help that you need, now I can actually show up and do the stuff that I really, really am good at. Because,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, your
yeah,
zone
it's a
of genius.
zone of genius. Yeah.
Yes.
That was big.
I hate
Yeah.
these concepts around failure and success and achievement because I feel like they're so confining. Like that if you're not perfect or evenly like doing everything at the same level, then you're not achieving or you're failing. I just feel like
Hmm.
it's so dangerous. I think one of my
Yeah.
things is like I work so much with quote high achievers and I see the mental turmoil. Like this
Mm-hmm.
person could be killing it, like literally CEOs, deans of this and that. And to hear them talk like I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And we all suffer from it. I'm not saying it like, but like just getting a chance to hear people say it, I see like how society has probably screwed up a lot of us, myself included, to feel like we can't be human or like we have to
Hmm.
just because anytime we're making excuses to a housekeeper when she's probably loves the mess because that's
I
her zone
mean,
of genius.
because I know my thought when I see the crap around here, I'm like, this is trifling, like to me. So that's where I came. That's where I came from. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I become? Because I mean, not that like we're living in squander, but
It probably looks like my
it
house
was
right now.
pretty like them dust bunnies,
Right.
honey. I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, no wonder we up here is coughing and sneezing, right? So that was just me maybe projecting, like, ooh,
What you
my
thought.
reaction to the space. Right, right,
And
yeah.
And she
when you guys bring up like the whole human aspect, that has been such a relief for me to
Hmm.
just, and it sounds crazy, like
to be
I have
human.
finally acknowledged after the 39 years that I am human. You
Are
know,
we
like
telling ages?
what? I finally expect that I will make mistakes, that I will not be able to do all the things by myself, not have this outrageous expectation on myself. And it's like, man, because it's such a relief for me, it's like, dude, I need to let other people know it's
It's your ministry
okay to
now.
be
Mm-hmm.
human. Like, that's
That's a
the
post.
issue.
Hmm.
That is a
And
post.
the flip side of that is that that'll come back to bite you because now I feel like I'm talking through this with my therapist. Now I feel like I can't get the doggone help now that I really need the help
Oh,
because you set the expectation of like, oh well, and Nicole knows, like, okay, well she got it, so yeah, like now there's no urgency, there's no, and I have to. It's very hard to undo that.
Yes.
When everyone knows you for being Superwoman,
the strong one.
the strong
Black,
one.
and can we really break it down on a
Yeah.
racial level, like women of color, but specifically Black women? Like, this is how we have been raised, and it's an identity that is
Right.
forced upon us, some of us willingly, some without. But like, it really, when you talk to women who are literally crumbling inside but have this smile on your face, like, you just feel like, I gotta break this down for you so you can know that, like, your humanity is your strength, not your strength is not your strength. It's like your flaws actually are what makes you strong.
Come on,
Not
man.
trying to be perfect.
Right. And what kind of world would we live in? What kind of relationships would we have if everyone had their crap together? Like,
The Stepford Wives,
there's
or whatever that movie, like
like I need my circle. I need my husband. I need my friends. I need, my siblings.
What? You need a man? You know what they tell us these days? Like,
listen, you know that Jill Scott song?
Which one?
Okay, so this is your homework, Nicole, because you're from Philly, so you should know this Jill Scott
okay,
song.
let me look it up.
Is it called "I Need You"? Hold on.
I need you. Okay, hold on. Let me go
I'm
to
gonna
my
pull up the lyrics.
Apple Music.
It's called "The Fact Is I Need You." I can pay my own light bill, put my own gas in my own car. I can buy my own shoe collection. I've been blessed this far. I can kill the spider above my bed, although it's hard because I'm scared. I can even stain in polyurethane, but some things just don't change. I need you. Like, I can buy my own groceries. I still need you. Like, and then she goes on to talk about raising a child. Like, I can't teach him how to be a man. You can teach, that's how we were built, we're just like one big puzzle.
Yeah.
Right.
I put that song on my playlist. Yes. I'm putting this on my playlist.
First of all, shout out that whole album. That was
good.
Yes.
That was check that out.
Yes.
That's so good.
But that's so hard for us as women. Because you know what? People don't want to be taken advantage of.
It's vulnerability.
Right. And I want to jump on this whole taking advantage, but let me say this part. Like, Nicole, you said, what would it be? Or Nicole Dion, you said, what would it be like if everybody had their stuff together? Well, how about that's what we living in right now? Social media makes us portray this image that we got it all together. And that's the problem. Like, that is literally the problem. You end up with so many people who are crumbling, like you said, Nicole, inside. And externally, they look like they got it all together, but you get them quiet in a room for about 10, 20 minutes, and
it comes pouring out. Because that's why they were saying, when they say Black don't crack, but they were saying internally. I saw this study. Black women they don't look like it, but their age is much older because of all of these stress-related diseases.
The physiological effects of being strong, and that's why they call, for Black women, heart disease is a silent killer, because we carry it. We literally carry it different.
Beautiful, but
you look beautiful on the outside, but then your heart is like it's strained.
It's legit about to end be over.
That's why my doctor is like, she's basically like, do you want Avery was 3 months old. I'll never forget, because I was going back to work. And she was like, do you want your kids to be here without? I was like, wait, what?
You're like, I just came
she
for
could have said, I was going to say, she could have said, I was going to say she could have said my husband, but that was the tip. I know, I don't want my family to be without me. But I mean, I think unfortunately, if you're a wife or a mom or a caregiver, it takes that level of despair of like, your loved ones are going to be here without you if you don't get a handle on it
together. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it don't have to be real despair. But will you take enough time to think through it, to access and to consider how it would affect other people? That would make you change. That would make you make adjustments.
Yes. Because you need a motivation. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's so
and that's a good thing, right? Like, because I hear somebody I was working with was like, Matt, like, why can't I just do this for myself? It's like, it's okay. That's human nature. Sometimes we need an external motivator. So let's just play on that. Who are you willing to do it for? versus beating yourself up. Then that became a whole other, like, I'm beating myself up because I'm not willing to change for myself. And I just reframed it like, okay, well, who are you willing to change for? And let's just go with that.
Right. And who
Right?
says
Like,
it has to be you?
And even that, it's like the fact that it takes us changing for somebody and not for ourselves. It's like we are like really the most selfless
yes.
creatures. That's just crazy. Like
To a fault.
to a fault. It's a blessing
Yeah.
and a curse, you know. Wow.
We should
As soon
start
as
changing our adjectives, like practice calling ourselves, like, because I was listening, they were giving out an award on the radio for something, a selfless leader. I'm starting to listen to things differently. And I'm like, come on, y'all, let's call it something else, because you're just reinforcing. And my mindset under that too is this person making money? Because a lot of times people are selfless and they get these awards and get plastered on everything and they're broke. So can we call like, we need to change up these adjectives. Like, no, don't call me selfless. Don't call me selfless. Call me something else. But stop calling me stuff that reinforces for me to run myself into the ground.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I know it sounds cute, but I don't want that one.
And that's why I feel like I feel some kind of way. You know, I feel like when you say I feel some kind of way, okay, can we just identify how you feel? What is the real emotion behind it? But that's neither here nor there. But I don't like it when people say you're strong. And it was very triggering as I was working through changing how I view myself. I've become very aware of the words that people would use to describe who I am. And it's like, okay, well, what is our definition of strong? Like, even in conversations I have with coworkers and peers and colleagues, they'll be like, well, what do you think about this? It's like, well, what is the definition that you rocking with?
Before I give my opinion.
Exactly. Before I agree to it, are we even on the same level as far as like the basics?
Right.
And if not, we got to get to that point before we define anything. So it's like, well, when you say I'm strong, or when you say I'm tough, or when you say I'm a boss, even, like, what do you mean by that?
I'm even okay with boss.
I want to identify with. What you say?
I'm even okay with boss.
You're like, I could take that.
I could take that. Like, I remember when we were in Cabos, and we were taking pictures on the beach, and I was getting everybody posed. And I was like, all right, everyone, I was like, do a boss pose. And our coach was like, no, we're not bosses. And I was like, I can still be a boss and still, like, I am a boss by but again, that goes
what
back.
Were we? According to, like, what were we?
CEO. I get where that came from. Yeah. I looked at it through the eyes of, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a boss B. That's not, I'm not even that hard like that. But I thought that was really interesting that.
Money.
Right.
Nicole said, are you making money though? Like,
listen, Nicole gonna come through with the smooth shade. And they're not, and she was so sweet about it. Like, they're not even making money.
Boss bitches, because it's like an image, right?
Yes.
Right.
100%.
But you can be a boss without being a boss B.
Right.
But most people haven't, like,
it's the connotation, the stigma with that.
And then how, like, I feel like people who are somewhat involved in personal development are more aware in a lot of their life, and most people are not as aware. And so they don't even question the things that are coming to them because they are not even aware of its effects.
So are you saying we're like disruptors by even bringing awareness to some things? Like when you are coaching people or working with them in a personal development way?
Absolutely. I absolutely 100% feel like we are disruptors, because, like, when you think about anybody who needs to change, we all kind of are aware of, like, the cycle of change or whatever that looks like, and the patterns that people get into. Well, the pattern keeps going, the cycle keeps going until something disrupts it. And so by default, anybody who's trying to help somebody transform is labeled a disruptor. Which is great.
Yes, yes.
I put the crown on, like put the label disruptor. I am
like, don't call me strong, call me a disruptor.
Right. But that's where our work gets so hard, especially like I think about Nicole, who's always like, it's this counter, it's almost like a counter campaign to change people's
I like that.
People's perceptions and definitions, because no, that's not how it was intended to be. So yeah.
Because it was meant to say we're a resilient people, which I 100% agree. But then it got twisted all up to you being a
mama and a daddy.
Yeah.
You be like, Father's Day? Y'all want Father's Day now?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's
to all the real fathers.
Talk about how that grinds my gears.
I legit had a friend. I mean, I don't even know if we're connected. I mean, this was years ago. I don't even think we're connected anymore on social media. But she was like, my mom is like, she was going hard. And I'm like, I get it, but that's not that's not the design of it at all. They're like, you're not, you legit can't be like, sure, she's the mom of the century. I get that. But like, no, sweetie, it's not Happy Father's Day to your mother. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No.
Wow.
And then it's also like asking for help.
Where'd Kofia go?
Oh.
Kofia, where you at? I don't see. Okay, she still has the link. Let me share this link with her. We'll keep talking. Okay, there she goes. There she go. I was like, where'd she go? All I saw was this.
I know. And that was after I wrote what I wrote. And I'm like, wait, what?
I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing over here. But
But you said something about the taking advantage.
Yeah. So like we were having a conversation, and we can bring it to them. Like we were having a conversation about taking it, like being in a situation where you don't ask someone, and this is just about asking either for help or ask them or make an offer to them or ask somebody something because you know what it feels like to be quote unquote taken advantage of, and that prevents you from taking certain action.
Yep.
And
yeah,
that's like a whole, like,
you can relate to that. Yeah.
A whole nother podcast on that.
Literally today, I just asked somebody for help, and I was like, no, because I know what it's like to be the one that people only call on when they need something. Not that I call on this person when I need something, but I'm like, I need help with these kids. So can you keep the kids for?
Oh, I know who you're talking about too.
I bit the bullet. I was like, I gotta bite the bullet.
I told you that person is happy to, and I told you the reasons why I know that person.
And when the kids, when Avery was supposed to go with her, I'm sorry, Kofi, I didn't cut you off, Shal.
No, you good.
When the kids were supposed to go with her one day last week, and it ended up not being a thing, she was like, oh, like I could tell her, she was just like, oh, because she was probably looking forward and like making plans, but she was like, no, for the next few weeks, I can definitely help out during the weeks, during the daytime. I'm like, yes, I don't have to worry about where the kids going to go. Do I have to bring the kids to work? You know, worrying about like hubby schedule. So yeah, we have to remove that. And it's again, it comes from a genuine place because we're so giving and thoughtful around other people, but it comes from just me internalizing that feeling of like, you know, having that phone ring and you're like, this person only want one thing. They only want something.
But see, that's what I learned. Yes. And like you said, we are projecting, because that's one thing I learned from my white male colleagues. I'm in a field where I worked a lot and been trained and stuff by white males. They have no problem with making the ask, with mansplaining, which is meaning like telling, which that is where I don't have a problem asking for help. I've had problems giving help without a person explicitly asking, because I don't want to quote offend them. But then I would observe my colleagues, they would constantly insert themselves, which is, as you say, Kofia, making the act. Like they're making their influence known, which is a form of selling. And
put a pin in that. That's another topic.
That's another. They had no. I would sit in meetings and see a white man be like, "Oh no," and I'm like, and then I sit there like, "That's right. Oh no," because I'm like, I'm following this lead instead of the whole like, wait for somebody to give you permission and, you know, they didn't really ask, or like you said, Kofi, I don't want to, take advantage of them when they could have been. You could be literally saving somebody's life
Mm-hmm.
by even the person you're talking about, Dion. I feel like that person gets so much out of taking care of your kids that you're depriving her by not asking.
And she's the godparent. That's the thing. She's a godparent.
And
So
that's just, I feel like that speaks to exactly what has helped me. The perspective is by me, like we talked about receiving, right? We talked about that a little bit. Like giving other people an opportunity to be on the giving side of something positions them to receive. But if we don't let them do it, it takes away their opportunity to even receive, because you got to give to receive. So
wow.
It's like, if I don't ask you and give you a chance to be on the giving side, I'm taking away the opportunity for you to be on the receiving side, because one comes before the other.
So you're putting an obstacle up to them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was so funny. If you remember a few weeks ago, I said something about, it was a message I don't know if it was from my pastor or someplace online. And he was saying, we talk about giving as us being givers, but also being humble enough to receive. That's also a ministry right there. So yeah, that's true. We don't look at it that way. We just feel like we are the ones that have to pour out instead of letting other people pour out into us. So
right, and by us receiving, it is pouring out, because you're giving them a chance to pour out. Like, we just have to flip how we look at it. And that has been a game changer for me, to just be like, okay, well, somebody said something like, well, I can bring your kids home. And sometimes I'll be like, well, never, before, no, that's okay, I'll come get it. And I'm like, okay, no problem, we'll be here. I'll be home. It's no question. I'm not making sure you good. Do you really mean it? Are you sure? Like,
let me come put the gas in the car.
No, you offer, I receive. No problem. That's it. Like, that's the end.
Yes.
So,
oh my God, I
so
do say,
good.
all right. That is so profound. That is I'm like, let me stop saying, but that's so deep, right? Like, if we could just flip our perspective and our mindset on something, it'll change our whole way of doing things. Like, it really does start with the mindset, like how we view something. Yeah, I did not expect this to go in this direction. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for all of these topics that we're going to talk about and look, nobody's kid busted in the door. So
you can't tell me that wasn't going to happen with Kofi. I was like, I said that in the back of my mind. I said, we're going to hit record, but you know what? That's what we're dealing with. It's motherhood, right? Like, I'm in this room. I need to be uninterrupted for an hour or however long.
I think I locked the door.
Oh shoot, you lock your doors? I don't think I've ever had to lock my doors.
Oh,
but then they'll be banging.
No, the door's locked for a reason.
Now I will turn you around if you think you're going to bust in here. Like, try again.
Oh, that's going to be our next topic: motherhood. How? Ooh,
yeah, I will haze these kids. I will straight up haze these kids. I will say, joining a sorority I got some really good skills out of that. Out of that experience. not that I was hazed. Not that I was hazed.
Yes,
like, let me clarify.
That's illegal.
That is illegal.
Days.
We do not condone such behavior.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up.
Yes, that was so awesome. I love talking to you, ladies.
Same.
I can't wait till the next time.
All
See
right.
y'all later.